No one can create health for you. Only you can do that for yourself. So I am Anindita. I am a functional medicine certified health coach and a practitioner, and I help women with undiagnosed autoimmune conditions reverse their symptoms and ease their pain by using their body as their guide. Today, I'm here to talk about why a different approach is necessary for dealing with any kind of chronic disease, particularly when you are still waiting to get a diagnosis. So, if you're dealing with an undiagnosed autoimmune condition, this session is for you. This video is for you because you are yet to get the answers. You don't know what you need to focus on, and in the meantime, you're getting sicker and sicker. And I'm here to tell you that there is another way, that there is a way to start reversing your symptoms much before you can while you're waiting for a diagnosis. You can do all of this at the same time, and you don't have to rely on any external data to do that. If you would like to know more about how I can help you, then make sure that you send me a DM with the word call so that I can schedule a free 45 minutes clarity call. I have 2 slots open in my coaching program, Healing from Within, and we can see if we are a right fit for each other. So let's get going. What are the first thing that I want to talk about is that there is a reason why nobody can create health for you, right? People, of course, you need your doctor's help, your medical professional to support you, to give you a line of treatment, to provide you with the medicines when you're dealing with a severe chronic disease like autoimmune condition. But many times we don't even know which one we had, so we have to wait for months, if not years and decades, to actually start getting the right treatment. And if we do also have a diagnosis, we often find that some medications work, some have side effects which are worse probably than the disease itself. So there are many different reasons why it doesn't really work out. But I think the most important reason is that none of these treatments or medications actually do anything about the root cause, right? So how do you figure all of this out? How do you know what the right approach should be? But it all starts with realizing the while the conventional approach can help you to prevent further tissue damage, you have it within you to figure out ways to heal yourself, and with or without a diagnosis, right? Because there is a difference between disease management, which is what a conventional medicine gives you, where you actually look at your symptoms, but it's more of a symptom management approach. Whereas you can also move towards a health creation, which so they're completely two different things. Because in health creation, you actually look towards your own body as your guide to understand where you need the support, right? How do you need to support your body? Is it in terms of particular foods? It is in terms of removing certain foods? Is it in terms of managing your stress better, getting more sleep? Which aspects of it are actually important for your body's healing process? And all of it is something that only your body can actually tell you, right? So but it starts with learning how to value ourselves, right? Truly appreciating our bodies and acknowledging the ways that it tries to keep us alive, or the ways that it actually does keep us alive, right? And that means that you also start acknowledging your need for rest, for rest, rejuvenation, support, asking for support, nutrition, social relationships. Of course, all of these become much more difficult to carry out if you're already dealing with a disease. But even then, these are some things, these are the needs that if they go acknowledged and unaddressed, they lead to many emotional issues, health issues, physical health issues down the line. So it is important that we start acknowledging all these factors that contribute to health creation. As I mentioned, this is a very different approach than disease management, which is why the conventional approach will rarely talks about these aspects of our healing process. So when we learn how to give ourselves what we need, that's when our healing journey actually begins. And how do you do that? How do you realize what your body needs? How do you understand where to even begin when you're dealing with any kind of chronic disease, there's so many things which are going on, there's so many symptoms which may have cropped up by now. Where do you actually start, right? You start by treating your body as your friend. So imagine if you had a friend who's in trouble, who is suffering, who's in some kind of pain. Maybe it's physical pain, maybe it's emotional pain. And imagine a person, in your friend, in that situation. How would you react to that friend? How would you approach that friend? How would you support that friend? What kind of words would you use? What kind of language would you use? What would you say to that friend? Would you actually bring that person down? Would you bring her or him down? Would you say that just get up and sort of get going, it's all your fault, you should have known better? Would you do that? Or would you be would you be compassionate, right? Would you empathize with what they are going through? So that's exactly what you need to do when it comes to yourself, when it comes to your body. When you are trying to figure out which direction you need to move towards, when you're trying to figure out what you need to actually do, it helps to start treating your body as your friend, because it is trying to keep you safe. It is trying to keep you safe by adapting to the environment that you are asking it to live in. So if you change your environment, if you create an environment that is healing, that is filled with nourishing foods, that is filled with with ways that your body can actually start rest, getting enough sleep, with joy, right? So if you start creating an environment which is actually healing, you will start seeing the shift in your body. You will start seeing the changes as your body then realizes, as your immune system, in the case of autoimmune conditions, realize that it's a safe place, and then it can start switching off this response to those threats, right? So it's your responsibility, it's your job to give a message, to send a message to your body and your immune system, in the case of autoimmune diseases, that the world is a safe place. And you do that by treating your body as your friend. And when you start treating your body as your friend, you can actually start relying on your body as a guide, right? A guide who's going to let you know what it needs, a guide who's going to let you know what direction you need to move towards. So treating your body with compassion and love when you're suffering is where you start. In fact, this forms the foundation of my coaching program, where I work with women with undiagnosed autoimmune conditions, and ease their symptoms, in particular reduce their pain, and we use this I call it a body guided approach, because they can actually access their body's wisdom and understand which direction that they need to move towards. This is particularly important because they also don't have a diagnosis, so they don't know what treatment will work, etc. But that's not really necessary when you use an approach like this. So let me just take you through a bit of the framework that I mentioned, this approach, this framework that I keep talking about. This coaching program is called Healing from Within, and this framework has 3 pillars. The first pillar is interconnectedness, the second pillar is body acceptance, and the third pillar is self-care. Like, these are the 3 primary pillars. The one that I want to talk about today is about body acceptance. That's the main pillar that that I want to focus on in terms of today's session, because I think this is often missing in many of the modalities that we actually deal with, right? When we try and heal ourselves from any kind of chronic disease, we are doing everything, but often where we miss out on is this part where we are actually not at war with our body, this part where we are actually able to treat our body with respect, with love, and with compassion. And that's when we are able to see the difference, because that's when we are able to move beyond symptom management. That's when we are able to provide the nourishment, not only in terms of food, but whatever else, whether it's spiritual nourishment, whether it's physical nourishment, emotional nourishment, because all of it has an impact, right? Your thoughts, your beliefs also have as much of an impact as the foods that you're putting in your body, the kind of stress that you're dealing with, the toxins that you're exposed to, all of it has an impact. So when you are able to move, provide this nourishment, you start to see the shift. And this all, as I mentioned, it's all ties in when you actually make your body your friend, when you stop being at war with your body, and you're able to rely on your body as a guide. This is exactly what I do in the body guided approach, which is the bedrock of my framework, and body acceptance forms a key part of it, right? So this approach becomes really effective, because again, whether you are diagnosed or not, then doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Yes, it does matter in terms of stopping or preventing further tissue damage. So that's why I always say that it's not an either or situation. Usually it's both. So you do need treatments at certain times in your life in the short to medium term, because you want to prevent further damage. At the same time, this approach is what you need to focus on. It's not either or really. And what happens is that when you're able to use an approach which comes from, which is guided, by your own body, you are not relying on external experts anymore to, give you that sense of direction. You're not only relying on external data like lab reports, like a diagnosis, to help you start reversing your symptoms, to help you start getting better today, right? So I hope that this is something that resonated with you. I hope that this gave you a sense of hope, a sense of direction, that you don't need to keep getting sicker and sicker while you wait for a diagnosis for your autoimmune condition. You can start making certain changes in your lifestyle today, in your life today, so your life, body and health can all come back in shape. And it all starts with treating your body differently, by making your body your friend, and using your body, or relying on your body as a guide by using a body guided approach. If you would like to know more about how I can help you and how this would work, then make sure that you send me a DM with the word call, so that I can schedule a free 45 minutes clarity call. I have a couple of slots which are available right now, and we can see if we're a good fit for each other.